Good morning, February 1st, 2023. 8:59 a.m.
Good morning.
I guess I'm
February
starting a little
1st,
early.
8:59 a.m.
There's audio
8:59
confirmation.
a.m.
Mute both of those. Still 8:59 a.m. So I guess I really can't start until I get up here to, let's see, it's 8:55 seconds, 56 seconds, 57, 58. Doug, you can't start talking until there's 9 a.m. straight up. Good morning. February 1st, 2023. Such a Doug. Jeez. And I realized about 9 minutes before showtime that I didn't even have a show scheduled yet. So drop the ball there. Brian Lightfoot's the only one in the chat room. Hello, Brian. Shows 11 watching now. And then Dennis comes in with a comment. You have a stream after all. Yeah, he usually does a auto redirect from our Fortnite streaming that starts 2 hours prior to this time. Danielle and Zavi, hello to you as well. There's Kenny Whidden, some more people saying hello in chat. Josh Kinder, what's up? So the title of this, I did a little different. USPS scam text message and more. I'm going to start out with this USPS scam text message that I received this morning. Come over here to this screen and show this a screenshot from my cell phone showing this phone number up here from a country 66. It says, delivery service, provide the correct delivery address to avoid delay in receiving the goods due to incomplete door number. After replying, okay, reconfirm your address. And it gives a URL there for me to click on and to go update that address. So this is what I'm calling the title today, USPS scam. But is it really USPS? Here we see it's USKPS.com. Now, a little story behind this. When these fishing expeditions go out trying to gather information, sometimes they'll hit on somebody who is expecting something like that. I had a delivery from Amazon scheduled yesterday. It was going to require a signature, so I felt I needed to stay home all day, which I did. I rearranged my schedule to get around that to be home to sign it, and it said it would be here by 10 p.m. Oh my gosh, are you kidding? I generally go off to bed by 8 o'clock. Her making my way to bed anyway, so I actually stayed up till 10 o'clock. Now, sometimes on Amazon, you can watch the delivery truck. I don't have a handle on when that happens or why it happens, but I was actually watching the delivery truck driving in the area, and there was when I first caught onto it, it said, you are the next stop. And I see it going all around these other neighborhoods, about a mile away, half a mile away. And it starts coming towards my neighborhood. I said, okay, it's coming along. My doorbell doesn't always ring reliably inside the house, so I also was monitoring my security cameras, my outdoor security cameras, so that I could see the truck come up. Because they need a signature, right? So I'm watching the truck, and it's getting to 7:45, I think it was. And then all of a sudden, the mapping goes away. It just disappears. And it goes back to a screen that says your delivery will arrive by 10 p.m. And prior to the map disappears, it changed. Instead of saying that you're next, it said that the driver has a few more stops before getting to you. What does this have to do with this USPS scam? Well, I was expecting a delivery. It did not come. Now, my Amazon delivery says, it's been delayed. It will arrive between February 1st and February 3rd. Signature required. So am I going to stay home 3 days? No, I don't think so. If I miss some, I miss some. I'm just going to have to redo it. And I was thinking I could cancel that delivery and then reorder it. But yeah, it just might mess up again. But let's get back to this scam, huh? What can we find out about this scam? USKPS.com and this phone number up here. So start with what country code is that phone number. Let's see, do I still have that one up here? Because I did that earlier. No, I don't have it there. So the country code was 66. What country code is 66? And we find that it's Thailand. Okay, that's a clue. This is coming from Thailand. They want to deliver something to me? I don't think so. And how about USKPS? What can we do with that? So I come over here to who is USKPS, get a couple of Google search results, and this one, Email Veritas, I have them up over here. And it shows USKPS. This site is unsafe. Report a legitimate URL. No, it's not. I'm not going to claim that that's legitimate. What else do they tell us? USKPS, 0 bytes, yada yada. History first. So January 5th, 2023. I don't think that's when the URL first got registered. It may or may not be, but it might be when eVeritas first became aware of it. Just talking here about ways to research scams that you might receive, or phishing emails, or phishing text messages in this case. Now, when they get skillful enough, when they find holes well enough that they can make this appear as USPS.com, is somebody more likely to click on it? But right now, they can't pretend to be USPS.com because that name's taken. So then let's come back over here. What more do I want to show here? Yeah, scroll down. There's some more stuff here. Ali DNS. So who is Ali DNS? Some of you already know that. But then here's an IP address, a public IP address that shows in Los Angeles. So they could have registered that Thailand domain from Los Angeles. And this is actually somebody trying to fish information about me. Now, I suspect the reason why I get so much of this stuff and I get so many scam phone calls and phishing text messages is because my phone number is out there on the dark web. I know that. It's been out there a long time. I've had this phone number for a long, long time. And the dark web has it. And I suspect, my deduction from what I understand about the ecosphere, the business environment on the dark web, my phone number is out there and some people can earn money by adding more information to what the dark web knows about me. So there could be invitation out there that my phone number is on a list somewhere. Can you find out what the address is for this phone number? And similar things with my email addresses. They're trying to gather more information. That might not immediately generate an attack, but as they gather more and more information, then the criminals who buy that information from the dark web can then design attacks specifically against me. Now let's go see what else I can find out about this. Let's see, I don't want to do that one, and then this one on MX Toolbox. So I did the who is lookup for USKPS. So I go down here, and in the registrar is Alibaba. Previously we saw this, what was it said, where we saw up here Ali DNS. So that's the Alibaba DNS servers. Then come back here and see what more can we find out. Updated June 13th, 2022. So that domain name has existed at least that long. So it wasn't created January. What is the point of looking up this more information? Do you need to? No, once you've decided that it's a phishing email, you just ignore it. Now, what would cause me, if this all looked legit here, and even if it had a legit looking phone number, would I click on that link? Best practices say no, don't click on the link, but go to your USPS.com account if you have one, or just go to their webpage and use that direction to get more information about the communication they're trying to do with you, because you should be able to get it some other way than clicking on a link in a text message or a link in an email. Avoid doing that always. I don't always abide by that practice, but before clicking on a link, of course, look over all the detail there. Look for any grammar problems, look for oddball phone numbers, look for oddball URLs that just aren't quite right. Might be USPS.cc or USPS.edu, some other kind of a domain name that is not likely to be correct. They're not likely to get edu. I think you have to qualify for that for an education domain. Let's go take a quick look at chat and make sure everything's going okay. Yeah, do not call list. I have done that before, but the criminal elements do not abide by do not call lists. The only people that abide by do not call lists are the legitimate marketers. So that's not going to do much good for me. Panama country code is 507 from Dennis. You may have won the Nigerian lottery. I should go look at that, right? Hello, and the sky is up unless, let's see, that's between the two. Chit chat. Good morning. I was wondering if you were going to stream. I am here, be sitting back and watching. Just had a lunch. I am tired. By the way, I do not have a redirect to Ken's channel. He's not doing a stream or even a premiere this morning. He did let us know in his stream last night that his mother is ill, so best wishes and hopes and prayers to Ken and his family. Yes, I discovered 9 minutes before showtime that I didn't have a stream scheduled. So just change your phone number. Do not want to do that. I have my phone number out among lots of clients that I have clients call me who I haven't heard from for years, and family. Not going to change my phone number. It's very easy. I don't have any, I'm not troubled by the quantity of calls and text messages I get because I do not answer them unless it shows a name that I recognize. I just let it go to voicemail. And I have this watch. When the phone rings, I can look at it. If I don't recognize it, just ignore, cancel, or whatever that button is. So, no, not a problem. And Greg is saying, do not calls unless they're useless. They are useless if you're out there in the dark web. If your phone number's out there in the dark web, do not call list isn't going to help. The only people it helps is the legitimate marketers who behave. Doug, do you think it's all possible that somehow these people who send out the scam emails know when a shipment needs consent, like being able to look into some service that may have left? I am real suspicious about that because remember, last time I fell for one of these, I did fall for a text message that came in late at night, and it had to do with when I was shipping that drive to $300 data recovery. And I clicked on it and I entered I think I entered my phone number, I think it was. And then I told you the day after and the next following days that the number of phony phone calls, scam phone calls, phishing phone calls I was getting was increased. Now, I don't answer the calls. It's not a big deal. Doesn't stress me out. But because that came in then, when I had an important shipment going out that was insured and requires a signature, that phishing happened then. And then last night, I was expecting a delivery that was going to require a signature, and I get a phishing text message. I don't know, maybe. Black Serendipity, it's often the case if you've done business with a company in the last 16 weeks, they can contact you. Yeah, well, if you're on a do not call list and you are actively involved with that company, that does give them an exclusion or an exception from the do not call list that they're allowed to call you. I can't quote the detail of that. Lawn Dog, some type of security flaw or procedural flaw in how emails are handled for shipping. Not sure how to phrase the question other than they do have the potential to know when a shipment is sent. Yeah, if they have gained access to the shipper's information, they would want to keep quiet about it. They would not want to let the security department in that company notice that something's wrong, that they might shut down the access. So it's quite possible that hacker elements have ongoing access to shipping records at some level, that they fly under the radar just so they can get the information. Then they send the phishing emails or text messages out to the shippers or the shippees involved. Is that the right word? I don't know. And it very well could be. So very believable. I believe the history detail on eVeritas refers to whenever the domain was checked, the actual creation date is listed under the domain as creation info. Does anybody else see Black Serendipity's name in red? I don't see it in red, no, so I don't know what that's about. I got a scam call from Spectrum. Now, have I covered everything that I want to cover regarding that text message and USPS scam? I think yes, since I'm titling this video for that. And I'll move on to some other subjects. Is there a problem with the Dell computer behind me? That is the computer for, that's the one that had the bad hard drive that I sent into $300 data recovery. I'm rebuilding it with Windows 10, and the client is going to be using a different scheduling software. So I'm just finishing up with that. Oh, by the way, yes, there is a reason why that's open though. Remember that silicon power disk that was having the trouble booting in the laptop that I talked about yesterday? I told you in yesterday's show that Curious Doug was not going to win the day, that I was going to drop it and move on and move forward and move on with my day. And I wasn't going to try those extra things to deal with it. By a show of hands, how many of you believed that would win the day? Tell me a number, or give me a 1 in chat if you thought that I was going to walk away and leave it alone and not let Curious Doug dig deeper in it. If you thought Curious Doug was going to win the day, then give me a 3 in the chat room. Yeah, so look at those 3s. I didn't get any 1s. Nobody gave me a 1. Everybody gave me 3s, meaning they thought Curious Doug was going to win. All right, so I'm going to tell you what happened. Curious Doug. I actually didn't spend much time on this because I figured there was an easy way to do this. I took that drive that had the image from the laptop that every time it shut down, even if it was still connected to power, next time I powered on, it would not find the drive. It said no boot drive found, but Control-Alt-Delete, it would always come up. And I checked the CMOS battery. The CMOS battery was indeed weak. I put in a new CMOS battery that did not fix the symptom. But what I did is I took this drive and plugged it directly into this computer. You know, different computer, it's probably not going to have the right drivers, right? But all I cared about is, will it see the boot drive? And no, it did not. So it had nothing to do with that laptop, had nothing to do with the CMOS battery. This drive in this computer also could not find the drive. So then did I get to this next step yet? Yeah, I think I did. Pretty sure I did. I restored another image to this. No, I haven't got to that yet. I'm going to do that. I'll restore a different image to this disk. It'll be the image from this computer when I'm ready to create an image of it. I'll restore it to here, just plug it in and see if that will boot, because that would tell me that it has to do with the image. Another thing that I did is I took that, well, I think I already told you about this. I took that 870 Evo drive because you saw that in the computer, and I restored the image to it and it booted just fine. But was there a problem with this image? I did restore the image again to this disk and it still fails to this SSD. So the next thing to do is to take an image from this drive, restore it to here, and see if it'll find the drive. That'll tell me that it is this SSD and that is a failure that an SSD can have. Not going to do recovery console and fix MBR because that takes too long. Just restore an image to here that I know works and see if it'll find the boot drive. That was a response to Greg M, because I'm looking for the quicker way to do it. So Curious Doug did win the day. I did do a little bit more, but Smart Doug, time efficient Doug, found quick ways, short investment of time to see what I can do. Okay, I think that's all of that. Hang on a moment. Bobby Warren, no, that is not Baby Beast. Baby Beast is inside this box. This is the Big Beast build. Kerry Holzman built it on his channel. Inside this box, there are 2 motherboards. One motherboard is referred to as Big Beast. The other motherboard is referred to as Baby Beast. Yeah, I know I almost messed up with my fingers there. What am I going to go to next? I know that I've passed over some chat comment. I suggest you clean the contacts of the SP drive. Nope, not going there. Again, that's just more stuff to do. If I can restore an image to that SP drive and it works, answer solved. Well, all right, I've got the contact spray, but no, I've had it disconnected and reconnected so many times. I'm certain that's not the problem. And I think I have this vague recollection when I installed this SPSSD in that laptop back in May of 22. I remember taking the computer back to the client's office, plugging it in, powering it on, and had that exact same symptom. Boot drive device not found. And did a Control-Alt-Delete, and it came right up. And I just figured, oh, it's an all-ball one-time thing. Did not do any further checking with it. So I think this problem has existed all along. That computer had been sitting at one desk all the time, never turned off. Restarted once in a while for Windows updates, but the client never had called me with having shut it down and unable to restart it. Then she had to cover somebody else's desk. So she shut the computer down, took it to somebody else's desk, and then discovered the problem. So I think the problem's been there ever since I bought that drive. I think it was a problem since it was new. Then let's go over to comments on the channel. Actually, there's some stuff in that I had pasted into chat room from previous. Oh, that was the GitHub stuff from Monday. I already replied to that. And then yesterday, oh yeah, Brian Lightfoot, I had a comment in chat that I saw after the stream was over about checking the CMOS battery. So I did find that was a problem. By the way, the first CMOS battery that I took out of a package also registered bad. And it was an off-brand. And then I had some other CMOS batteries that were more recently that had a 2032, the year 2032 expiration date. So that's what's in there now. Did not help. Then get over to channel comments over here and go down to the oldest comment. I'm probably maybe going to get through all these. I don't know. From Dressing Up English. No, this one's going to take a little longer, I think. I have Windows 10 Home for a single, let me get that bigger. I have Windows 10 Home for a single language. It has BitLocker. I have been unable to disable it except by inputting the 20-some odd number key. I cannot cut and paste the key. Once I turn off my computer, I have to go through the entire process again. How do I disable BitLocker? Now, I have not been through this before, so I want to let you know, Dressing Up English, there might be comments in chat on this video that might have more information. So if you're in the chat room and you've got responses to this, go ahead and chime in. But let me point out, this is Windows 10 Home. Windows 10 Home does not natively have BitLocker, as I understand it. Windows 10 Pro, yes. So Windows 10 Home, my understanding is the only way you could have BitLocker on here is if you went out and acquired it, downloaded it, and installed it, or somebody in the past did that. And it may have had to been a purchase. I doubt that it's available for free. Now you have the key. You have the key for unlocking it, and you've been doing that. I don't know if you put the BitLocker on or somebody else did. I don't really care about that, but I think the solution to this is to input that 20-some odd number key, and the reason why you're saying you cannot cut and paste is because you're pointing out that it's a real nuisance to do because you have to do it, you have to type the whole key in, read it out character by character. Probably an alphanumeric key, and maybe has some symbols, maybe has some upper and lower case, so it's not an easy thing to do. But put in that key to unlock it, decrypt the drive, and then go into AppWiz and uninstall it. Because if you do Windows key R and then appwiz.cpl, or you can get into the Add Remove Programs or the Programs and Features window, whatever you want to call this. And I believe you'll find it in here as an installed application. So after you have put in the code and unlocked it and unencrypted the drive, that should take a while. Make sure it goes through that process of unencrypting the drive. Then come in here and uninstall it. That's what I suspect the solution is going to be. But because there's a potential for something to go wrong here, I highly encourage you first to have an image backup. You can be making the image backup, it's encrypted of course, my glasses are crooked. You can make the image backup even though it's encrypted, but as long as you're keeping that hold of that key. And also let's see, let's go over here and do a Google search. How to spell how correctly. How to remove BitLocker from Windows 10 Home. There are various different renditions of BitLocker, so make sure you're getting the right thing. Disable BitLocker for a single volume. That's not what we're really looking for. Remote. I can't spell. How to disable. How to uninstall BitLocker for Windows 10 Home. Now again, somebody in chat might be giving better answer to this because I'm talking off the top of my head. I've never tried it, never been faced with it. But if you'll give us a reply back as to how this is going, we will continue working with you day after day trying to find the right solution. Let's see, Windows key X, open the pop-up menu, choose Windows PowerShell. Okay, it involves PowerShell. Enter disable BitLocker, mount point F command, and run it. Be sure to replace the F with the actual drive letter. Now, is this applicable to Windows 10 Home? Here, there's Windows 10 11 Home with Windows PowerShell. So these are instructions here. That looks good. All right. Now I'm going to go. I'm going to put this URL into chat, and then see what else people are telling us in chat. Let's see. I need to put. I'll paste that first. Then I'll go back to the channel comments and look for Dressing Up English. And come back to the chat window and put in @ paste Dressing Up English, so that's directed specifically to you. So then let's see what other people are saying. In orange, I suggest you clean that's the SP drive. Dennis, he needs to find Windows 10 Pro and install the drive on it, then remove encryption. I don't think so. I don't like that at all, because he has Windows 10 Home. That BitLocker is not the same BitLocker as what comes with Windows 10 Pro. I'm very leery of that. Let's see, Doug, before removing the BitLocker program, I would move the unlocked and encrypted files to a different location just in case something is funky there. Now, I think Lawn Dog has also probably not been through this process before, so I'd rather take more authoritative advice on it. With BitLocker, depending on how it was installed on every boot up, you may have to enter the BitLocker key. I don't think he's having to do that. He hasn't told us that. It's to unencrypt it, that he's having to enter it, is my understanding from that. You can rely solely on Windows 10 password to get access to the files. So it looks like these are not from people who have actually experienced uninstalling it from Windows 10. But here's turn off BitLocker in Windows 10 Home. Turn off BitLocker, turn off BitLocker. What about uninstall? Because I think it was installed as a standalone program, or is it installed as a program? How about how to? Well, I guess I could just take all of that, but I want to change this to install. How do you install BitLocker on Windows 10 Home? I could have typed this whole thing from scratch instead of all this editing. How do you install BitLocker on Windows 10 Home? Because I think it's different. Turn on standard BitLocker encryption. Windows device with administrator account. Select BitLocker. This isn't referring, that didn't make reference to home there. Control F, type the word home. Note that BitLocker isn't available on Windows 10 Home Edition. It's not available, it doesn't come with it, but I think you can buy it and install it. Can Windows 10 Home read BitLocker? Does not support, Windows 10 Home does not support, but he's got it on Windows 10 Home. How did it get there? Device encryption and device encryption on Windows 10 Home. The biggest difference between, device encryption is based on BitLocker, but it's different, but I don't think it's available on Windows 10 Home. It's Windows 11 Home. Device encryption, I think, is available. BitLocker is able to encrypt single drive with set of management tools. So we're not really getting to the right answer for you here. But we will continue working with you. If you give us a reply back on the comment, then we'll get more. We'll keep interacting with you. Greg says first disable it. Jeff Ryman's got something from Windows Central. Let's see what they see here. How to enable device encryption on Windows 10 Home. Are you running Windows 10 Home? This is how you can protect your files using device encryption. Well, that might be what it is. It might be device encryption. Windows 10 Home doesn't include BitLocker, but you can still protect your files using device encryption. Device encryption is based on the BitLocker encryption technology. I've read through this before. It's a little muddy. It's similar to BitLocker. Device encryption is a feature designed to protect your data from unauthorized access from the unexpected case that your laptop is lost or stolen. When the feature is enabled, the entire system, drive, and secondary drives connected to your drive are scrambled, and only you with the correct password can access the data. Now, is he having to enter that every time he starts the computer? Let's see. I have Windows 10 Home for a single language. It has BitLocker. Maybe it actually has device encryption. Close, but not quite the same thing. I've been unable to disable it except by inputting the 20-some. So he's putting in the 20 character number, not when he starts it, but to disable it. So he's been disabling it. And then that means it should be unencrypting the drive. That takes some time to unencrypt the drive because the files are actually individually encrypted. I cannot cut and paste the key, as I understand. Once I turn off my computer, I have to go through the entire process again. How do I disable the BitLocker? Well, are you unable to use the computer until you disable it? And in that event, you're not actually disabling it. If you're having to input it every time you start the computer up, that's not disabling BitLocker. That's just putting in the key so you can access the content on the drive. It's still encrypted. You're able to interact with it because you have entered the key. That's not the same thing as disabling it. So maybe it's a terminology here that I misunderstood your request in the first place. So you would need to put in that key, get into it, and then go to disable BitLocker. Okay, here's what I could do. Is I could bring it up in a virtual computer. Let's see, over here on... Oh, I've got it around here somewhere. Virtual PC. I could get into it. If I launch that now, I have a Windows 10 in there, but I suspect that Windows 10 is, I don't know if it's Home or Pro. Windows 10 running. If it is Home, then I'm going to go try to show you that now, where I think it is, because I think you have to go truly disable it. If you're just entering the encryption key when you're starting the computer, that's not the same thing as disabling. Now let's see what version I have here. Do WinVer on this. It is Windows 10 Pro, so that's not going to do it. But if this were Windows 10 Home, I think just press the Windows key and then type probably encryption, manage BitLocker. Go into there, and then here's turn on BitLocker. You should have an option in here to turn off BitLocker because I don't think you've actually disabled it, and it should take a significant amount of time for it to unencrypt all of the files on the drive. So let us know by reply in that comment if that helps you. Or tell us the results, and we will continue working with you, dressing up English to try to resolve this. Now, there's a couple other comments in here that I haven't got to for a while. I'm delinquent in getting to them, but I'm going to go ahead and shut down the live stream for now after one last look at chat. Dennis, by the way, I have Home and Pro editions. John Williams, maybe it was installed from the device manufacturer like Dell or HP on a Windows 10 Home. Wow. Greg says, I believe you're correct. The user is just decrypting the files on the drive, entering the key. They're not disabling it. They're not decrypting either. They're just gaining access to the encrypted files. They're still encrypted. Start the computer up, enter that key. You're not decrypting anything. You're just accessing the encrypted files. Now maybe it's a little bit of semantics here. You're decrypting them as far as your interactive use is concerned, yes, but they're still encrypted on the drive. And Greg says it's going to take 15 to 20 minutes running in the background to decrypt the files. Could be a lot longer than that. Depends upon how much content is on the drive. Totally unfair to give them an expectation of how many minutes. And I doubt that it's going to give you an accurate description of how long, an accurate estimation of how long it's going to take. I know that there's content that I have not read yet. After ending the live stream, I will read the rest of those chat messages, and if I want to respond to them tomorrow, then I will have that in my notes to respond to tomorrow. I think that'll do it for today. If you want to send me a question by email, you can use the email address on the screen right now, DougBetts@LiveWindowsTraining.com. You can leave a comment on any of my videos because they will show up on that screen that I displayed earlier. Or you can ask a question in the chat room, and if I don't see it during the live stream, then I'll follow up on it the following day or soon thereafter. So I hope that was useful. Have a great day. Catch you later. Goodbye.